And I think that's what's going to bring more people to our game. I think the viewership speaks for itself over the past, tournament run. But even before that, our Big Ten tournament championship game had, huge amount of viewers as well. So
Angel Reese is spiraling, and this time, the evidence is impossible to ignore. While Caitlin Clark continues her absolute domination of the WNBA, breaking records, selling out arenas, and rewriting what star power even means in women's basketball, Angel Reese is out here publicly complaining about feeling unsupported. And the internet is not having it. What's unfolding right now isn't just another chapter in the Clark versus Reese saga.
Yeah, I think it's just competition. It's been competition since college, being able to play against Caitlin. I've been playing against Caitlin since.
This is a full-blown reckoning. Fans are fed up. The numbers don't lie. And the contrast between these two players has never been more painfully obvious. If you're Team Caitlin Clark all day, comment CC runs the league down below. Let's go. Now let me set the stage for you, because this story has layers. Angel Reese has been on a press tour lately, and not the kind where you celebrate wins and talk about championship aspirations. No, this is the kind where you air grievances. She's been vocal about feeling like she doesn't get the same support as other players in the league. She's hinted at unfair treatment. She's positioned herself as some kind of underdog fighting against a system that doesn't appreciate her. And look, on the surface, that sounds sympathetic. Everyone loves an underdog story. Here's where it gets embarrassing. The moment Angel started talking about her lack of support, fans immediately started pulling receipts. And those receipts tell a very different story than the one she's selling. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark for a second. This woman has single-handedly transformed the economic landscape of the WNBA. Merchandise sales exploding, League Pass subscriptions through the roof. Every single game she plays becomes a sellout event. We're talking about tickets that used to go for $30 now commanding hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. That's not hype. That's a market-driven referendum on who actually moves the needle in this league. And what has Caitlin said about Angel Reese through all of this drama?
I think the biggest thing is, we're all competitive. We all show our emotions in a different way. Angel's tremendous, tremendous player. I have nothing but respect for her.
Virtually nothing. She's kept her head down, focused on her game, and let her performance do the talking. When asked about the rivalry, she's been nothing but professional. She doesn't engage with the pettiness. She doesn't fire back at the shots. She just goes out there and dominates. Think about that for a second. One player is out here complaining about support, while the other player is too busy breaking triple-double records to even notice the noise. But here's where things get even messier. The fan reactions to Angel's complaints have been absolutely savage. And I'm not talking about random trolls. I'm talking about basketball fans, WNBA supporters, and even some of her own followers calling her out. One comment that went viral summed it up perfectly. Angel Reese complains about lack of support while Caitlin Clark fills arenas she's not even playing in. That's not a support problem. That's a you problem. Brutal. But is it wrong? The numbers tell the story better than any hot take ever could. When Caitlin Clark plays, arenas sell out in minutes. When she doesn't play, viewership drops. When the Fever are on the road, opposing teams suddenly see their highest attendance numbers of the season. This isn't speculation. This is documented, verifiable, economic reality. Meanwhile, Angel Reese's Chicago Sky Games? Let's just say the secondary market tells a different story. We're talking about tickets available for the price of a fast food combo meal. That's not tough luck. That's the market speaking. And the craziest part? Angel keeps pointing fingers everywhere except at herself. She's blamed media bias. She's blamed league politics. She's hinted at deeper issues without ever actually addressing the elephant in the room, which is that maybe, just maybe, the support follows the performance. And right now, her performance isn't commanding premium prices.
People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game.
Now let me be clear about something. This isn't about tearing anyone down for the sake of it. This is about accountability. This is about the difference between players who earn their spotlight and players who demand it. Caitlin Clark earned her position through 4 years of absolutely electrifying college basketball that broke every record imaginable, followed by a rookie season that silenced every doubter who said her game wouldn't translate to the pros. She averaged nearly 20 points and over 8 assists per game. She won Rookie of the Year. She made the All-Star team. She delivered triple-doubles that put her name alongside legends. What did Angel Reese do? She grabbed rebounds. And look, rebounds matter. But when your offensive contribution has you putting up single-digit scoring nights while demanding superstar treatment, something doesn't add up. 4 points. I've seen Angel put up 4 points in games. That's not a stat line, that's a cry for help. But here's where the story takes an even more interesting turn. The toxicity that fans are calling out isn't just about on-court performance. It's about the pattern of behavior that Angel has displayed toward Caitlin specifically. Remember the national championship game? The taunting? The "you can't see me" hand gesture directed right at Caitlin?
But Reese has been called worse than that because of this, the "you can't see me" gesture that she gave Iowa's Caitlin Clark during the final.
At the time, some people celebrated it as competitive fire. But looking back now, with the full context of everything that's happened since, it looks less like confidence and more like insecurity dressed up as bravado. Because here's the thing about true competitors. True competitors let their game speak. They don't need to taunt. They don't need to create drama. They don't need to position themselves as victims when things don't go their way. Caitlin Clark has never once publicly disparaged Angel Reese. Not once. She's been asked about the rivalry countless times, and every single time she's taken the high road. She focuses on her team, her goals, and her growth as a player. That contrast is what fans are reacting to. It's not bias. It's pattern recognition. And speaking of patterns, let's talk about what's happening with Unrivaled. The new 3-on-3 league has become the hottest ticket in women's basketball during the offseason. Top players from across the WNBA are showcasing their skills in a format that emphasizes pure hoops talent. And guess who's been absolutely shining? Caitlin Clark. She's out there making plays, building chemistry with other stars, and proving once again that she belongs at the very top of this sport. The energy around Unrivaled has been electric, and a lot of that energy is directly connected to Clark's presence. Fans are tuning in specifically to watch her play. The social media engagement spikes whenever she's on the court. Meanwhile, the conversation around Angel Reese and Unrivaled has been notably quieter, and that silence speaks volumes. Let that sink in. When the league creates new opportunities to showcase talent, the market naturally gravitates toward the players who deliver. That's not conspiracy. That's capitalism. That's audience preference. That's the same force that determines who gets shoe deals, who gets primetime coverage, and who becomes the face of a league. And right now, the face of the WNBA is undeniably Caitlin Clark. But here's the part that should really concern anyone who genuinely wants to see women's basketball succeed. The constant narrative of victimhood, the endless complaints about unfair treatment, the refusal to acknowledge the obvious differences in market value, all of this creates a toxic environment that ultimately hurts the sport. Fans want to celebrate greatness. They want to rally behind players who inspire them. They want storylines about triumph, growth, and excellence. What they don't want is endless drama from players who seem more focused on their perceived grievances than on actually getting better. The comment sections across every platform tell the same story. Fans are exhausted. They're tired of the excuses. They're tired of watching one player work in silence while another player complains in public. One fan put it perfectly. Angel Reese has spent more energy talking about what she deserves than actually earning it. Caitlin Clark has spent more energy breaking records than reading her own headlines. That's the difference. And that really is the difference, isn't it? This isn't about rooting against anyone. This is about recognizing what we're actually witnessing. We're watching a generational talent in Caitlin Clark redefine what's possible in women's basketball. We're watching her handle pressure, criticism, and even physical targeting with grace and professionalism. We're watching her elevate everyone around her while staying focused on winning. And we're watching another player struggle to accept that the spotlight isn't a participation trophy. It has to be earned every single night, through performance, not complaints. The WNBA is entering a new era. The investments are growing. The audiences are expanding. The opportunities have never been greater. But that rising tide will lift the boats that actually deserve to rise. Make no mistake about who's leading that charge. It's not the player complaining about support. It's the player creating support everywhere she goes. The market has spoken, the fans have spoken, the numbers have spoken, and they're all saying the same thing. This isn't about rivalry anymore. This is about reality. And the reality is that Caitlin Clark is operating on a completely different level, one that demands excellence from herself rather than demanding recognition from others. That's the difference between a star and a superstar. That's the difference between someone who wants the spotlight and someone who commands it. What do you think? Is Angel Reese's frustration justified, or is she missing the point entirely? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen and we will see you in the next.